Hey, yeah, howdy ho! What's up?
Hi.
Oi, oi. Tyler, Frank, Sam, Keith. We're going to talk about E3 if this video ever decides it's going to upload.
Hey, who knows?
Having issues uploading our Microsoft and Bethesda video twice, so we'll see. Who knows?
We'll try to figure it out.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Ubisoft and Square Enix. Ubisoft went at their normal time slot. Square Enix went at Sony's old time slot of 9 p.m. Eastern for us. And I think, we'll get to Square Enix, but we'll get to them in more detail. I was kind of surprised how much of a conference they actually had. I'll say that.
Yeah, there was
a lot of stuff.
There was a lot of stuff. I think some of it's more, definitely a bit more niche, I would say.
Absolutely.
But a lot. Like, probably at least a dozen games, right?
Yeah.
At the very least. So.
Yeah, so let's start with Ubisoft. Start off with an Assassin's Creed Symphony that's doing a world tour. Thought that was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
Hearing some Assassin's Creed music live like that. I love that sort of stuff. I love when that's done at the Game Awards. I think it's very cool. So, then they got into Watchdogs Legions, which leaked and then they kind of confirmed it. But this is our first demo of it. Basically, you can take control of just about anyone in the game, like recruit them.
Well, everything they showed was in alpha.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes, and the game is set in London, post-Brexit world.
Ooh. Practice.
But yeah, they showed this, taking control of this one guy, and he was doing a bunch of stuff, and then he died, and it said permanent death, and then the menu came up that had all the other characters. They chose this grandma, and they took control of a grandma, and, you're recruiting different people. I'm very curious how it works. Also, there was a rumor that there was no guns in this game. Very much saw third-person shooting gameplay, if that's how you want to go about it, but a lot of hacking, a lot of melee combat. So, you have some options there, but what do you guys think of this game? Also comes out March 6th, 2020.
Ooh, wow.
Looks really good, actually. I was surprised at, not only is there a permanent death for a lot of the playable characters, like other characters react to that, almost immediately.
Right.
It seems like that is a very complex system, and I'm sure that it's gonna have its problems, but I hope they get that sorted. We'll see. I've been hearing rumors that that's the headache for the game.
Oh, most definitely.
I can imagine.
Yeah, that's I think that's the whole selling point of this game. I think Watch Dogs 2 did much better, or it was a better game from what I've heard. Mm-hmm. That's sort of been the issue with these games is that I don't know, because especially with the first Watch Dogs. Was Aiden was basically just like a hacker Batman in some ways.
He was a lifeless dickbag who honestly, I don't know.
He was aiding the people.
Yeah. It was not a cool character. I got you. Yeah. But
see how it is.
I think that this idea is since I don't think really of any game this has been done like this. So
yeah, they're saying everyone kind of is simulated. They live their lives and all,
which I assume is based off of RNG to some extent.
I imagine you got to do it, to some extent.
So
because you can't individually handcraft every single, person in the game. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm very curious on how this game's going to work. I loved Watch Dogs 2, and this is definitely taking the whole hacking thing and DedSec and taking it to a whole nother fucking level, which I think this franchise needs. Watch Dogs 2 was a great game, but definitely didn't get as much attention as I felt that it deserved. It was, especially compared to the first one. First one was, one of the first next-gen titles we saw for these consoles, and then had a lot of hype coming out for the game, but the second one was fantastic, so I'm very excited for this game. I'm just curious, story-wise, it seemed like there's an AI that gets plugged into everybody, basically. You know, is the AI the driver of everything, the story, the quest and all that. I'm curious because they said that once you recruit someone, then you play like their origin story. Like, how different are all of those? How long are they? How repetitive can that get? You know, just some things, some kind of maybe more nitpicky things that I'm just a little bit more curious on than anything. Game looks beautiful too.
Yeah, absolutely love the idea of it. I feel like a lot of games don't really have that enough, like the sort of. I mean, it's going to be. I don't know. It's kind of a hard experience to judge now because with there being a story, all these NPCs are essentially your characters. I guess they're going to be recurring characters that you run into, maybe. I don't know, like throughout the story. But I don't know. It may like everyone's experience can be kind of different because like, oh, I recruited this guy, you recruited that girl, you recruited like 3 other people, and none of us really have the same people. Did you recruit the right people? That I want to assume, because we did see like some of the people had like levels. Do you recruit people at certain levels, or is that? I mean, I assume when you have them long enough, you do things with them, they gain experience. But do you recruit at certain levels? Do certain missions need like this good of a hacker? And if I don't get this good of a hacker, if I need to go around and like maybe grind a little bit to get a character to this level, will that change my experience from yours, who you recruited like a really good hacker right away?
Yeah.
I recruited like a really good brawler or something, but that's not what the missions really need right now. It's open. It's kind of like, it takes me back a little bit in ways like No Man's Sky, where everyone's experience could be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that, but assuming Ubisoft takes the steps to kind of have some bottom line for everyone's experience, meaning that's not that bad, like it can't be unplayable, I really love the idea of getting attached to characters, and they can die. So you really have to, like, that's one thing that I really wanted, I really want in the next Assassin's Creed. It's basically almost guaranteed to be Vikings, right?
Yeah.
But like having like a ship and having like crewmates that you take on raids and they can die, and it feels like, oh, I lost like a big part of my crew here, I lost part of my team. I really love that idea. It's just, it's a little bit up in the air of I don't really know.
Right.
Like, are you going to get the right people? What are the requirements for certain missions? How long does it take to find the right recruit and level them up, if that's even a thing? I don't really know.
Who knows? Game looks good, though.
For real.
Next up, they talked about a TV show for Apple TV Plus, Mystic Quest, Raven's Banquet, which had Rob, what's his name? I forget his last name. From It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's a weird thing to have.
Incorporated a bunch of dudes from like the It's Always Sunny crew. I guess they're producing it or something.
I mean, it's
right. They basically partnered with Ubisoft to make this show, I guess. It's just kind of weird.
They didn't show like enough of it for me to get any sort of thing. I didn't think, and it just seemed, I don't know. It seemed almost like it tries too hard in some ways.
Yeah, it looks a lot like all the things that I super hate about like the myth of how games are made. Like they were putting about a lot of that at the forefront, and I don't know, it just didn't jive with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then showed off some new Rainbow Six stuff. There's a new season starting tonight. There is a Brawlhalla and Adventure Time crossover.
That's cool.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
None of y'all played Brawlhalla with me ever.
Isn't it like a Smash?
It's free to play
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now there's Adventure Time in it. I might play it. I love Adventure Time.
Right. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So we got a new trailer for that. John Berthel came out on stage with his dog.
With a dog.
Which was awesome.
Or was it Bam Bam or Boom Boom? I think it's Bam Bam.
Bam Bam. I think.
Bam Bam.
Yeah, which is very fitting for him, I feel. I mean, I'm excited for Breakpoint. I feel what they talked about the game more than they showed anything, and the game comes out in October. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, come on.
I guess that's because they just sort of revealed it recently, and when they revealed it, they came out with so much stuff. I kind of wish they did the opposite, like they put out a trailer and then went into that much detail at E3, but they kind of swapped it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's information out there. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I guess they were like, oh, put more time into, like, Watchdogs or something.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they bringing back characters from Wildlands or something? Like, if you play by yourself, like, they brought, like, a big deal about...
like 3 AI.
Like, the AI teammates from, like, Wildlands.
But I don't know why that was, like, a big point. I sort of just expected
I guess
that.
people just... I guess maybe that wasn't, like, a thing that they were originally going to do, maybe?
Correct me if I'm wrong. If you played Wildlands by yourself, you still had 3 other players. They announced in Breakpoint that if you were playing it by yourself, you wouldn't have them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I think that's... I feel like they probably heard people pretty loud and clear on that, of like, oh, that's not
because
really
you go down, no one's going to revive. Yeah. Well, that's kind of...
Right. So that's going to be a post-launch thing. Then they also announced Ghost Recon Delta Company, which seemed like a whole bunch of community stuff that you can get into. And there's a beta that's going to happen September 5th. I'm looking forward to the game. I just wish we would have actually saw a little bit. Terminator's coming to the game. Second Terminator in a row.
Boom! I'm all about that. I love Terminator.
Yeah. Then they showed off a new mobile game, just a trailer for it, called Tom Clancy's Elite Squad. Has a bunch of Tom Clancy characters in it. Cool.
Yeah, mobile games.
Just Dance is happening, still coming to the Wii.
I was expecting a longer dance sequence. Like, I was a little disappointed that it didn't take up more time, which is something no one wanted to see.
Yeah. They announced, I guess, new For Honor stuff. For Honor Shadows of the Hitakiri, coming June 17th.
Got ghosts.
I guess it's kind of like Japanese sort of stuff. It seemed very cool. That's the thing. The idea of For Honor is way more exciting to me than what For Honor actually is.
Fair point, because like I played it a bit, and I played it a little bit later after it came out. So like, all the people who were still playing online were like, because I mean, there is a bit of a skill climb with that, and so then like everybody else is like, all right, 10 times better. than I am.
They got to the point where they really figured it out.
And the narrative wasn't anything too special because like I remember I did a little bit of the story, and I'm like, that's all this is. Your combat system is all this game is.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. That's like the only thing about that game. That's the entire game is you can block and attack from different sides, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Incorporate that into Assassin's Creed somehow.
Yeah.
It's a fighting game.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just, it always just made it seem like, and they always like feel like that game should be like, I don't know, it should be like almost like a little bit more to it. Like combat's still super cool, but I don't know.
Sounds like another game we heard about tonight.
But at least Ubisoft's still sticking with this game. I think that's cool. Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is a new Rainbow Six game coming early 2020, continuing a theme of E3, which is a 3-player co-op game modes or games. I imagine they basically said this is PvE. I imagine it'll be a lot like that event that they had in Siege, which was fun.
I had a lot of fun playing
it. Definitely was very intense. So, building that out more, why not?
Yeah.
The Division 2, it's getting a whole bunch of new stuff.
One.
There's a free trial, June 13th, 16th. Episode 1, which is DC Outskirts Expeditions, will happen in July, and there'll be a whole bunch of stuff taking place outside of DC. It will.
No, wait.
Episode 2, which is called Pentagon: The Last Castle, comes out in the fall, which will have a new raid.
That's going to be some crazy shit.
It is. And then Episode 3 comes out early 2020, and they showed a trailer for it. You're going on a manhunt, and then that's it.
But it's going to be some crazy shit.
Like, no gameplay.
Show gameplay.
Yeah.
Give us a title. What the fuck was that?
It just seemed like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was weird.
It's like there's things that like I get wanting to get as much in at E3 as possible, but I mean, it seems so like you could have just put that out in like a press release and be like, yeah, here's all this stuff. Yeah, there's nothing that they couldn't have just done like a week ago.
It's just a weird theme of this year's E3 of like, here's this cool stuff, here's this cool new game, here's a trailer for it that might not have a lot of context to it, or we're going to tell you about it, but we're not going to show it.
Yeah.
And there's certain games, one which they ended on, where it's like, show us the fucking game, because it's not that far away in terms of release date. It's just a really strange E3 for that.
Especially for this one, is a game that's already out.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah.
Like, to me, there's no reason why they couldn't have shown a little bit more of that first episode that's coming out in July.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably pretty much done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be. Hopefully, it's pretty
For the
much
record,
done.
I was being sarcastic. It doesn't look like any crazy shit. And like you were saying earlier, like, they're talking about, like, it's going to be awesome, but then it comes out, it's just going to be, like, running from point A to point B and shooting some dudes.
Shooting some dudes, and you'll be like, that mission was cool. It was cool to go through those environments, but what did I do that for? I don't know. I mean, the Division 2 is fun. It is. But I just thought that was a very weird presentation of it. Then they announced Uplay Plus, a subscription service coming to PC for now. It'll have early access to new games, new Ubisoft games, over 100 other Ubisoft games you can play. It launches in September, and it will be $15 a month. Basically, their EA access in a way.
That's a steep price for one publisher catalog. I don't know.
I think it's if I ever get the inkling or the itch to play like a bunch of like the older like Splinter Cell games, which I do like, or like Assassin's Creed games, because since and whatnot, I can see that maybe being worth it. I can see it being a thing that like you renew every once in a while. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you don't have it for the full year. It's like, all right, I'll pay for 2 months, beat Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and then put it away. But like, I think at least it's the only thing with the whole. This is a completely different topic altogether. But like with all the subscription services you get, it's like for $15, man. I don't know. There's already so many other things that I'm already putting money towards.
Right.
This, what are you gonna sell me on this one?
Yeah.
Like that's also part of the thing. Like the EA one could probably be cool because there's a couple games they put out a couple games every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get my hands on that game early, but it's like, what else do you have? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I think it could be, if you like Ubisoft games enough, it's definitely for you. And they did say that each version of the game is available, so in a way, like, these are the people that put out like fucking $100 gold edition, or wait, yeah, gold edition's like $100, right? And like anywhere from like the extra, $10 for a game all the way up to like $120 for a game, depending on the edition that you get. Like gold edition, that's including the season's pass. And depending on how you look at it, with a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for example, it's a long fucking game. I mean, you are getting some value out of it. It's really just how many Ubisoft games are you really into? How many do you really want to play? And then I think on top of that, some of the older games aren't bad. Like, I don't think I'm going to do it. I'd rather just get the games. But, I mean, for the right people, I think that's like a really good, like, they're really intrigued for that.
Personally, I think this is really funny, especially with modern day Ubisoft. $14.99 a month. You're playing these Ubisoft games, these modern day Ubisoft games, for many months in a row. Like, they make huge games. It's really about what you have time for, and unless you're really going back into that back catalog and playing some of the shorter old games, I'm not sure how this pans out as being worth it, because at a certain point you're just better off buying the games.
Yeah, I mean,
especially the bigger ones that are like.
I mean, you could play like 2 games a year. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Like 2 or 3.
You get the game. You basically get the season's pass. It's about $100 worth. And then you play another game, plus what the season's pass would be, or any additional content. I mean, it's kind of breaking even in a way, but I see what you're saying. But it's really just for people who fucking love Ubisoft.
Yeah. I mean, your mileage will vary.
Yeah.
On this, definitely. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's value there, but like you're saying, it's just how much Ubisoft do you want? Sometimes it can be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
You know, depending on what you're trying to play. But, yeah, just $14.99 is a little steep. I feel if the price was $9.99, this is a totally different conversation.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm interested on how this pans out. And I'm also interested if it ever comes to console. I imagine it will. Then they announced a new game, Roller Champions, which seems interesting.
It's cool.
There's an alpha you can get into.
It's like roller derby, like Battle Ball from Alita Battle Angel. I'm
Yeah.
kind of all about that.
And then they ended with a new game, new IP from Ubisoft Quebec, who did Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's called Gods and Monsters. Comes out February 25th, 2020. I don't understand
Why you?
their presentation of this game.
Yeah.
Like, the trailer was fucking awesome, and the
Yeah.
game has this, like, Breath of the Wild art style that I'm like, dude, this looks so cool. The game's coming out in February. It's a new IP. You're ending on it. Show us more of the fucking game.
Yeah.
Give us the 5-minute
yeah.
little gameplay snippet. I just don't understand this trailer and getting it out sort of presentation of it. I feel like it did a little disservice.
It's just a weird decision, especially
Yeah.
when you put all those things together like that. It's just like,
Yeah, because it looks very intriguing. Like, I want to see a lot more of it, and I just don't understand why they didn't do that. It's just a C3. It's weird. You know?
I know
it's
that-
more about
it's
the
like-
trailers than it
it's-
is
it's-
showing the actual gameplay.
I mean, I think it's weird because, like, I know a lot of, because I know, like, some of the games they're holding out for, you know, some of the games are like holiday next year, and they're holding out for when, you know, for longer down when consoles get announced. But even like, yeah, like situations like that, or the fact that I don't think we've seen any Gears gameplay, like actual gameplay.
No.
There was a little bit in the presentation from last year, but not a lot.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
like it was
It's
just not
weird.
It's just
And
yeah,
that game's out in
September.
3 months.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's almost
Yeah.
like we could have canceled E3 this year and been just fine.
Yeah, like there is an argument to that. Yes and no, just because I feel like we went into the E3 knowing a lot, and we're not coming out the other side knowing so much more. You know what I mean?
So who knows?
All this new shit that we didn't know.
so who knows? Maybe next year is when all
it's
the
kind of it's just a weird E3.
yeah.
Oh, what'd you guys think of Ubisoft? Though?
I thought it was good. I mean, I really liked the stuff that they were like with like Watchdogs and Ghost Recon Breakpoint seems cool. I think the only issue was, again, maybe even more so than I think they had a better conference than Bethesda, but maybe in some ways similar to that. There just wasn't any like surprises necessarily, or any like
Besides Gods and Monsters, but then it just
substantial. I mean, because that's like a new IP, but like anything that's like, they weren't like, you know, what the thing everybody asked for. They weren't like, oh yeah, then here's a quick tease, even though it's not coming out this year. Here's a quick tease for Assassin's Creed, because even though they've
Nothing from Splinter Cell
or like
again.
no Spencer. No, the Blacklist was in that sizzle reel. So I mean, there you go. It was there.
Yeah, I read a tweet from Jason Schreier not too long ago, and he said that he has heard that there is no Splinter Cell in active development right now. So
Why?
They just keep
It's
using
such a-
it in like all their other games.
yeah,
It's such a good
Yeah,
game.
the only thing that really excited me out of that is Watchdogs Legion. Like, all the other stuff I don't necessarily give a damn about anything they showed. I mean, it's all stuff I already knew or stuff I just don't give a shit about, but Watchdogs Legion looks interesting, but I have a lot more questions for that game.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Watch Dogs Legion is definitely the game of their show, and I thought they had a good show. I just wanted to see a little bit more of some other things. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
It's not really the amount of games they showed, the amount of maybe new surprises. It's just like, show me a little bit more of Ghost Recon, show a little bit more of Gods and Monsters, show a little bit more of the new Division stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's my only thing. Because Ubisoft they deliver consistent conferences almost every year. This one's kind of no different, but I
Yeah.
just need a little bit more.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, Watch Dogs, it got me really excited for Watch Dogs, which,
Yeah.
I mean, Ubisoft is famous for their downgrades in the first Watch Dogs, so I don't know. I'll hold my breath on it, but I'm starting to like the Just Dance shit every year. Some part of me is starting to like that, and it feels like it would be weird without it. And the fact that it's coming out on Wii, I like that. It's just one of those weird things. It's just like almost like a comfort thing. That it's just like good old Ubisoft. And I don't know, something about, I like the way that their logo comes on screen every time, the little sound effect they have with it. There's just something I really like about their conference. Like it's so concise and well put together. Not that the other ones aren't, but it's just, I don't know, there's something so like nice about it. But the games, yeah, they didn't show off a whole lot, but they showed off enough to really like remind me of some games and get me excited for like new ones a little bit. But I wish they did show off some more. But I don't know, Ubisoft has made such a turnaround for me over the past few years. Yeah, I like what they're doing. As long as they do it well. As long as they can nail Watch Dogs, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with Ubisoft, honestly, I mean, I agree. They've kind of... There's some games that I'm like, on. Far Cry 5 is a really great example of that. But then, like, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, to me, completely... And I loved Origins.
Yeah, they knocked it the fuck
out
of the
park. They knocked that game out of the fucking park. And that totally, like, re-energized my love for Assassin's Creed. And that arguably is the best Assassin's Creed game. One could totally make the argument for that. And it's like... They can still do really good shit.
They still got it.
It just depends on what you want.
Didn't see anything from Skull and Bones.
Yeah, I think they said they were taking a break because they were delaying it out of this year. Right. So they're like, let's make sure that this game is a game.
And then the big one, Beyond Good and Evil 2, they didn't show that one either. Yeah. They said they weren't going to. So Ubisoft's, I think next year, it's kind of the same with almost everybody. But next year could be an interesting conference from them. Maybe they show Beyond Good and Evil 2 a lot more than they have. Skull and Bones comes back. Then that new Assassin's Creed. Yeah. That rumored Viking game. That could be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Let's move on to Square Enix. There's a lot here to talk about. A little bit more, I guess, quick hitters. I will say, for Square Enix, I thought they put on a pretty good show. But if you aren't a fan of JRPGs, this could be a little bit better.
Yeah, I was like...
There's a lot of
zoning in and out for like the first half, 3/4 of it. Because I've never played Final Fantasy before. I didn't know half of like what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. So let's get started. So they started off with a probably solid 20 minutes on Final Fantasy VII Remake. They showed a lot of gameplay. So they showed off kind of the real-time and the tactical, more slowed down side of the combat. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of freeze combat, you can switch characters, you can command characters, you can play it in an action-oriented sense if you wanted to. I mean, I thought the combat looked pretty fucking fun to play. Basically, they ended by showing just like a giant boss fight.
Yeah,
which was like a boss fight. But yeah, I mean, it showed a lot of cutscenes, all sorts of stuff. The game comes out March 3rd, 2020, at least the first part. They said it's going to be all about Midgar, but I read on IGN that they're expanding the story of it. So like you were saying, that's about 6 hours in the actual game. So I imagine it's probably going to end up being a lot more than that. But what do you guys think of this game?
I mean, I really liked it. I think the graphics. I mean, the game looks beautiful. Yeah, but it's the stuff which it was kind of always going to be. The combat to me was, I think, maybe my favorite part, because that was always something I was wondering how they were going to do, because I knew that, like, from like one of the early things that we saw, they were like, oh yeah, the combat's going to be a lot more real time. And I know that a lot of people might not like that because it's going different from the tactical turn-based style, but I think like the tactical mode kind of adds a new sense to that. It's sort of almost like I know a lot of the later the Final Fantasy games kind of did this weird, like time-based combat, not turn-based. Like you just wait for your abilities to charge up and you do stuff like that. Like 13 was sort of like that. But I kind of like this style. It's weird. I mean, granted, I haven't been keeping up with stuff, but I guess people got really fucking excited when they were showing off Tifa, which I'm like, sure, why not? But yeah, it's cool.
I
March
feel like
3rd
this-
is like so like wow. I did not expect that.
Yeah, I definitely...
Like I expected a release date. I expected maybe like holiday next year, but I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say on the combat, I feel like this could satisfy the, I guess, old school fans that were like, let's not, I want it to be turn-based still. I don't want them to change it, and I don't want them to go too far in the Final Fantasy 15 direction that's more action-oriented. I feel like this could be a pretty good middle point to still kind of have both modernize a little bit.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the game? Excited?
I think the thing that impresses me most is how they've managed to translate this 90s game and make it still look identifiably like what you'd expect a modern Final Fantasy VII to look like. They did a good job in making that game look like what that game should be in a modern sense.
Yeah.
I'm talking like character designs and just like the overall art direction of it. It is very much identifiably Final Fantasy VII.
It's a remake. 7.8 out of 10. Too many buildings.
I think that is its official title is Remake, because I mean now like everything has Remake on it, which I mean granted, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So
Too much water.
I'm excited for this game. I've never played Final Fantasy VII, so
I live in this world with heathens as my friends.
I never played a single
I
Final
played
Fantasy game.
I played 7 like long ass time ago, and I tried playing again on the PS4, and maybe I just don't remember because it was like years ago. Fucking for whatever reason, there's like some thing where you move super quick in that game, like moving around.
Well, they
things.
added a system to make it a fast forward system. Because
And I fucking was like, and then I was like, I don't know where I ended up because I'm like, how the fuck do I do this? So I was like, all right, I'm done.
the only Final Fantasy I've played is 15.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I need to play a lot more. That's a big franchise. I need to just try some of them out.
You will pay for your gaming
The
sins.
only Final Fantasy I've ever
7.
played is Modern Warfare.
Final Fantasy Modern Warfare.
Final Fantasy, or no, there was a trailer for Life is Strange 2 basically saying that that's still a game. I think they spoiled a lot of shit.
They did. I mean,
Oof.
I haven't played 2 yet, but I was like, alright, sure.
yeah, there's definitely there's spoilers in there.
That was an interesting choice.
They didn't need to do that.
No. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered comes out on PS4 and Switch and iOS.
Played that game on the GameCube back in the day.
Yeah. Octopath Travelers on PC. The Last Remnant Remastered is out on Switch today. There was a trailer for Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is coming out on PS4 July 12th. I thought it was a cool trailer. I'm not going to play the game, but very long trailer.
Yeah, so another long one.
Yeah. Dragon Quest 11 Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition S. That's the whole title.
One of those kind of titles. Yep.
It comes to Switch. No date. It was literally the same trailer that we saw from, or nearly the same trailer from the Nintendo Direct not too long ago. So I don't know. Thought that was weird. If you're gonna show the fucking nearly the same thing, then give us a damn date.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But this will have kind of an 8-bit version of the whole game, which is interesting. Showed off some Square Enix collective stuff, which is their initiative to help indie developers. They showed up a game called Circuit Superstars, which is kind of a top-down racing game,
Yeah.
and Battalion 1944, which is a World War II multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Those excite you guys.
I'm more excited by Circuit Superstars because I enjoy racing, and it seemed like a different take on that. And,
Yeah. Well, the thing that I liked the most out of that trailer was seeing the pit crews.
Yeah.
Like all little and animated. Like, that looks cool. There was a trailer I thought, an awful trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
For the Remind DLC that's coming out this winter, they said. I mean, all the stuff they showed gameplay-wise was literally from the end of the game, which I'm like, okay, why are you spoiling the shit out of this, or whatever?
Yeah, I mean...
But for spoiling for those who care, for
Yeah.
those who don't, it probably meant nothing.
Meant nothing. I mean, great. I could
Dude,
kind
I
of...
couldn't understand.
I mean, I kind of...
Yeah,
I mean,
that was
in some
happening.
ways, who knows? I don't know. That's safe than giving anything from what might actually happen. I mean, who knows what the heck this fucking thing is.
It was a weird trailer.
It's a weird trailer. I know they put it out like a couple days ago, or not put it out, but they showed it off a couple days ago. Got the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra event thing, but yeah, I mean, I'll play it when it comes out. Who knows? Should be good.
Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers is the new expansion coming out July 2nd. Got a trailer for that one. Dying Light 2 got another trailer for that one, spring 2020, which I guess this one showed a little bit more gameplay, but not too much new to it that we didn't see. In,
A lot of
that we saw
parkour,
from the
which
Xbox
is like, oh wow, there's parkour in this game. Oh wow,
Yeah.
new stuff.
Yeah, Square Enix is
Mirror's
publishing that
Edge.
game, which is interesting.
Here is it. All right, I'll give you that one. That's a good one. I'll give you that one.
There are two Saga games. I don't know this franchise. Romancing Saga 3, and I didn't catch the other one.
Yeah, they're long titles.
Yeah.
They're just old JRPGs.
Yes, those are coming out. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and War of the Visions, which are mobile games that are now in
How many
development. I
Final
didn't really
Fantasy
understand
games
this
did they
game.
show off?
Well, Brave
There's a lot.
Exvius is a thing that's existed for years now. War of the Visions is going to be a separate game that takes place in the same world.
Gotcha.
So I think that's probably close to 10 Final Fantasy games, maybe. But
Did
maybe
they
not.
show it in this press conference? 'Cause there were 7.
7, 14, those two.
Last Remnant
Crystal
is
Chronicle.
technically...
Crystal Chronicle. Last Remnant
Crystal
technically.
Chronicle.
It's technically Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, and then
Smoking that.
the thing
I
about
did
8.
this.
Okay, 7.
7 games. 7 Final Fantasy. Holy fuck.
It's their big thing.
Yeah, but it's like, god damn. It's like if Bethesda came out and they showed all their Skyrim shit.
But it's not like,
Like
they have a
every
new, it's not like
edition.
they have a new thing of Skyrim, 7 new editions of Skyrim. I mean, they could.
They show off like every new mod in Skyrim.
Oh, fuck. It was like 7, something like that, 7 or 8 Final Fantasy
Hey,
games they talked
Final
about.
Fantasy 7.
Yeah, see,
7
they did it.
games, Final Fantasy
They did
7.
it.
It's the Illuminati. It's behind it.
Alright.
The Japanese Illuminati.
Then they showed off Outriders, which is a new IP from People Can Fly. They developed Gears of War Judgment and Bulletstorm.
Which is yet another game.
That is 3-player co-op.
Also,
And-
who knows what is this
We know
game?
Yeah.
nothing about.
It's,
Yeah,
it's, it's,
shooter.
it's a co-op shooter.
And it says coming out next year?
Summer 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess
That's gonna get delayed.
Yeah.
I feel like that. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the game's about, but it looks like they're going for something big, something cool. So it's bound to get pushed back a little bit.
Yeah. It was a really cool trailer.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
It looked really really intriguing.
Like,
it looked
sort
like
of
there was this
like
big
grimdark
thing
and-
from that reminded me of that fucking thing. What was it from the first Thor movie? That big metal guy.
Yeah, I know
Shot
what you're talking
a
about.
laser
Yeah.
beam or some shit.
Right.
Like that looked cool, and there was like some kind of I don't know, it was like a fire ability that like the one, I guess the main character of the trailer sort of did. There was like this fire came out of her hand or something. Sort of like a
it looks
burst.
like a video game trailer to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
But
giant monsters. Oh my
It
God.
seemed cool, but who knows what this game could be. It could just
Well,
be
it turns out to be like a.
it's like a top-down.
I was going to say like XCOM.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
fantasy XCOM.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
They
Yeah.
pull Elder Scrolls Online and have this like fucking awesome trailer, and then the game is different.
Yeah. Let's see. They showed off a trailer for Oninaki, which comes out August 22nd. I don't really know. Do you know what this is?
So it comes from, I believe, that Tokyo RPG Factory, the same people who made the
oh,
I Am
okay.
Setsuna,
I got you.
and then I think that
Remember
Secrets
that.
of Mana thing.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered is coming out this year.
That's cool.
At some point.
Yeah, there are people who like that game and are mad that they've been snubbed every single time they announce, hey, Final Fantasy VII is available on new consoles, and so is Final Fantasy IX.
Mm-hmm.
You always heard.
Yeah, it also looked like. I mean, it looked.
Yeah,
like,
it's remastered. They up-resed it. There's like.
But it also looked like there's like maybe like a classic mode, which I guess is kind of cool. Like they were just like towards the end of the trailer, I'm like, this looks like the original graphics. Like, what happened here? And I'm like, but which I mean, that's cool. I think that's like an underrated thing that I think more remasters should do. Like, you know, Halo 1 and 2. Like, it's just awesome. You can just be like,
That rhymed.
I'm playing with you know, the OG graphics, because why not?
Yeah, I imagine that is a complete pain in the ass to do because you basically have to have two versions of the game running at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you can just hop back and forth.
Or maybe not something you can switch like that, but like have the option. Like, you want to play with the OG graphics? Go for it.
Yeah. And then they got to and ended on Marvel's Avengers. Got a trailer. There's a whole bunch of details for this. So it'll be a single player game. You can also play it co-op. Or there is a co-op element to it. I'm still a little confused if the whole game is co-op.
What I picked up
Or
on
what?
is, this is my interpretation, maybe. And here's the thing, I could be wrong because I mean the conference just ended like an hour ago. That it's a single player, but
Yeah, it's a campaigin.
and then
then
like a
there's
mode. But you
online.
can play I think you can play the campaign with other people, but there is like a sort of like almost it won't be like open like Destiny, but almost like here's an area, go do missions and fight enemies, and then they'll introduce
Strikes
more
or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my only worry is what they were showing was definitely story-driven, cinematic, cutscenes, all that stuff. And it looked fucking awesome. And that's what I want mostly from this game, not so much the... the co-op element could be very cool. But yeah, I'm just wondering if those two were separated at all. You know what I mean? Say something?
No, I'm just completely unconvinced at this point.
About what?
On this game.
Oh, okay.
That it's actually going to be something that I'd like to play.
Gotcha. But you'll be able to play as Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and Iron Man. Sorry, Hawkeye.
Fuck off, Hawkeye.
Yeah, they basically said there's going to be some live service elements. All the content will be free. There's no loot boxes, all that stuff that they have to say now in 2019. There will be early beta access and other benefits for PlayStation 4 players.
Yeah.
That
Probably
outdated
Spider-Man.
line.
Yeah.
You get to play as
Spider-Man.
Ant-Man. Probably Spider-Man, because I would assume that maybe Spider-Man because of the whole.
Spider-Pig.
But I could also assume maybe just from the trailer, like maybe Ant-Man or something.
I want to play as Spider-Pig.
Hank Pym shows up, so
He shows up, yeah. I don't know if he's playable.
I mean, probably eventually. Ant-Man's gonna be in there eventually. You would have to think. I mean, he's kind of more of like a bigger character now, especially because of the movies.
Spider-Pig.
Yeah, sure.
That's
Why
what I
not?
want to play as.
Yeah.
On PS4.
In May 15th, 2020 is when it comes out.
Yeah, again.
They said
another-
there was a beta.
Yeah.
I don't know when
They
that's
didn't
going to happen.
announce that date.
Yeah, but I don't know when that's going to happen.
I'll play the shit out of beta for that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, they said, story-wise, this is an all-new story. Avengers is opening a base on the West Coast in San Francisco. Someone then tries to steal this new technology they have. Shit goes south. Avengers get blamed for it, and they're kind of outlawed. And then bad things happen.
DC.
There's like a couple things where, I mean, granted, I could assume that maybe it's a purposeful misdirect, but it just seems like the trailer spoils a big moment from the beginning of the thing. It could. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it spoils that Captain America's dead at the beginning of the game.
yeah,
But
but,
yeah, you're going
I
to
mean,
play as Captain America.
but it just seemed
Because at
they
the
made a
end,
big deal about the character
at
coming
the end
back.
of the campaign, you revive Captain America.
I mean, people die and come back to life in comics all the time. Why not?
You know, that is true because they said 4-player co-op, and if there's 5 of them,
Well, you got options to choose
you
from.
know, or, yeah. I mean,
There's like a thing for like, you know, for this mission, pick who you want. You know, do you need a
Because
Hulk?
no one's going
We
to play
need
as Black
4
Widow
Hulks.
when you have 4 people that have superpowers.
I mean, unless like you could like hack if there's like robotic enemies take control of
Yeah,
enemies.
Tony
or
can
something.
hack.
Yeah, fair enough. But that might be too OP. Give it to Black Widow.
No.
Yes.
No. Does she have a hammer? No. Has she got like big fucking green muscles?
She could.
No.
You don't know what's hiding underneath that suit.
I like to think about it, but I don't know what's under the suit.
Fair enough.
But no, does she have a suit of armor? Like, I don't know. People are gonna... I mean, I'm sure the people who plays Black Widow, I'm sure
Stealth
she'll have her
sections of the
own
game.
abilities.
Stealth
and,
sections of the game.
yeah, hopefully they balance them well enough.
Yeah.
I want to play as Thor, though. I call Thor.
Okay. I feel like it's only fitting if you're Hulk.
Ah, yeah, I'm gonna be fucking Hulk. I mean, if you're taking Thor, I'll take Hulk.
I'll take Captain America.
I'm still not convinced I'll play this game.
Fine, you know.
I'm excited for it. I mean, I just want to see a lot more of it. I mean, it seemed like in that trailer there definitely was some gameplay thrown in there, here and there.
Yeah, but yeah.
Or at least stuff that's supposed to like
Look
be
like
It invokes the feeling of gameplay.
There you go. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah. I'm just more curious how the game's going to function over anything. You know, how much is the campaign separate from the live service elements and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. It looks interesting.
They paid like the same 4 or 5 voice actors you hear in every freaking video game to be in this one.
That's fine. This is some of them I think work. Like, you know what? Fucking Nolan North as Tony Stark works perfectly.
Yeah.
I agree with that. My one thing is there was a cutscene that they showed that had Tony Stark and Bruce Banner talking to each other. I feel like every time I hear Troy Baker now, it's a little hard for me to disconnect Troy Baker from his characters. Whereas Nolan North isn't as hard to do for me.
Well,
personally.
good thing Troy Baker just plays himself in Death Stranding.
Yeah. So, and I get why they would get all of these. So, my one thought on that is like, for Avengers to work, you need chemistry. And I feel the movies had that. Like, there was definitely chemistry between a lot of them. I'm not talking story arcs, I'm just talking on screen. Like, they all work very well together.
Yeah.
You know, these voice actors and actresses have done so many games together that
It
they
kind of almost
probably
makes
have
sense.
some fucking chemistry with each other that might make it come alive a little bit more.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that I guess that would be my thought on that.
Yeah.
Should have gotten PewDiePie to play Thor.
Yeah. But it is at this point. Like, I like Nolan North. I like Troy Baker, Laura Bailey. They're great. You know, let's
Who
just
does
get
Laura
some new
Bailey
voices.
play?
Black Widow.
No,
I mean like who has she played before?
She's done. Nadine.
Nadine,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
She's
So
also
like half of the people are from.
She's
Okay.
I thought she's also playing someone in Last of Us Part 2. I think so. I think I read that.
Maybe.
So again, like half the people from Naughty Dog. Then wait,
Yeah.
who are the other two people? Who do they
Travis
play?
Willingham.
Oh, he's done Gears of War voices. He's basically like the big gruff guy in pretty much every.
He's the guy playing Thor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I forget who.
I'm trying to remember who does
America.
Cap. Yeah, Cap. I didn't recognize him. I thought he was like a different actor at first because he looks very much like another actor I know of. But I'm like,
PewDiePie.
is that, you know.
Jacksepticeye. Markiplier. Just all this
Top of the morning too.
Yeah, all those big fucking like YouTube people.
I know you're watching this on YouTube. Fuck YouTube people. I don't want them taking jobs.
Get Jenna Marbles to play Black Widow. Oh hell yeah!
Out of everything we saw today between Ubisoft and
Ubisoft.
Square Enix,
Square penis.
you had to pick one game.
I get
What
one.
is it? Get one.
Get one.
Oh, one.
Let me
You're on
go
the way as
over
one.
my notes again.
You only get to pick one, motherfucker.
I'd still probably go Watch Dogs. Probably at the end of it. I am excited for Final Fantasy VII would be a close second, but I think I don't know. Watch Dogs is something new-ish in some ways with what they're trying to do with some of the stuff. Whereas Final Fantasy, I mean, they're doing new stuff with Final Fantasy VII, but it's like in some ways don't know. I feel like that game has to be good. Like Watch Dogs is a little bit more intriguing because it's like, who knows? I mean, especially if the rumors are true, that's like the thing that's, you know, that's their biggest problem. It's like, you know, I'm more interested to see whether or not that game lives or fails. Whereas like Final Fantasy VII, you know, hopefully it's good. If that makes sense. I rambled there for a second.
If I had unlimited time and could catch up on Final Fantasy XIV, that new expansion looks dope as fuck. But I don't have unlimited time for Watch Dogs.
Okay.
I want to say the Avengers, but that's something really new. I don't know about Watch Dogs, but I feel like Ubisoft. I know what Ubisoft is capable of, and I feel like they could pull it off. They can work some sort of Ubisoft stuff into it, and I feel a little bit more safe about that than I do about the Avengers, because it's something totally new that I've never really seen before. I'm not sure how the characters are going to work. I'm not sure how abilities are going to work, anything like that. So, Avengers is a little more of like the unsafe one. So I'm going to kind of go with that, I guess. Because I like the surprise of it. Like, right now I'm excited for it. Doesn't mean I think it's going to be better, but I'm excited for it because of the possibilities. But Watch Dogs is like the more safe one that still looks fucking awesome.
Final Fantasy VII
And Just
Remake
Dance.
for me.
Just Dance.
Just
2020,
Dance.
even though I
Yeah.
never played one.
I'm going to say Final Fantasy VII Remake because I've never experienced that game before. So I just want to experience something about it. And the game also looks very fun to play to me. But very close second, Watch Dogs. Close third is Avengers.
Yeah.
And then fourth is that Kingdom Hearts DLC. Just kidding.
Dude,
What is
as
it?
someone who hasn't played through all the Kingdom Hearts shit, like, that made
Oh, here's the
exactly
thing.
zero
Here's the
sense
thing. I don't
to
know.
me.
I mean, I don't. Okay, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
I have ideas, but they're probably wrong.
But you
'Cause I had
probably know
ideas
the
before.
characters that are on the screen. I'm like, yo,
Yeah, you have a
this
good
is a
point.
bunch of...
But I'm just, but just to put that into perspective, though, I know who the characters are, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
There's too many of them.
Yeah.
So too many characters.
You need to get rid of them.
Okay, get rid of them. Just
That's like... I don't know. Genocidal of you.
yeah.
That's a word. You could
Just need to
use.
get rid of them. Too many of them.
God.
Taking up too much time on the screen. Get 'em
So,
outta here.
that was Ubisoft, Square Enix. We're not going to do anything for Nintendo, but we'll probably talk about them next weekend or something.
Yeah.
Probably talk about E3 as a whole. Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching and listening. See ya.